Wardrobe.
Wardrobe? Yeah.
Guard.
No weird jokes, please.
Guard.
Censoring. Okay, can I now bother you about the shit? Yeah. Okay. Fuck, now it's awkward. Martin, come back. Now I made it awkward.
We can do it.
We can do it. Okay. Random questions that I had. First one for mentality. That's the biggest one that I had. So, oh shit, what was I? So what was it? Yeah. When you started competing, did you plan to get this far?
I always wanted to get far. I had ambitions, but it was hard to foresee everything because I started in a small town. I didn't know if my level, if I had, if I would be able to go to the top level.
Yeah.
So in the beginning it was more of just trying to do as good as I could at blue belt. I really wanted to win Europeans and stuff like that. But eventually, when I started training more and more, I got more and more into it. And when I started traveling as a purple belt, that's when I started believing that I could get far in the sport.
Nice.
That was like kind of the shift where I start focusing more on like becoming a black belt world champion instead of just doing good at the belt that we're at.
Yeah. So, what was it next that I wanted to ask you? So, when you compete, you said that you also get nervous, but you try to find a balance between things. So, before you fight, do you try to calm yourself down, or you try to amp yourself up?
The thing is, before, like, everyone has different strategy. Some people they want to be amped up and be really aggressive.
Yeah.
Some want to be chill. In my case, I prefer to be calm. Like the music I listen to, it's relaxing. I try to meditate and be like, don't let the nerves get the best of me. So I'm really trying to just be as present and calm as I can. Because when I'm training, I'm not pumped up or crazy. I'm not super aggressive. I'm just
no slapping and jumping.
No, just. So
Sorry, Tommy.
I'm trying to be to cope with the way I'm training and the way I'm fighting.
Yeah, but at the same time, you're ready to go 100% as soon as the pace jumps to 100%.
Yeah, for sure. So I'm warmed up and ready for everything, but I don't want to go out like hyper aggressive or anything.
And so I assume you competed more and more, and you find your own mentality for competing.
Exactly.
Yeah, but the one that you started with, is it completely different than the current one, or you stick to the same thing?
I'm trying different methods. I think that's the way too. You have to experiment because you have to find out what works for you because everyone is different. So I've tried to be like listen to Viking music and be really aggressive and everything. That didn't really work for me, So I've tried different methods, and the one I'm using now, it's the one I have most success with and being comfortable with.
So, getting warmed up, listening to calming music, but still being ready to kill. Since everybody can find your interviews and how you started and everything, and we started on the topic of mentality, is there anything that you would recommend to people not to do, like that you see that people do that to shoot themselves in the foot when they want to compete?
I think one of the main problems is overthinking and overanalyzing. So you go to a match and you have absolutely everything planned out, or you're creating certain scenarios and you think about that too much. And maybe you have too high expectations of yourself. So when it doesn't go according to the plan, people get stressed out and then they freeze, their cortisol level rises and they start to mess it up. So I think the key is to try to not have too many expectations or too many plans, but just try to just be the best version of yourself in that moment.
Yeah, always stay in the now.
Exactly, because that's when you're most capable of handling new scenarios, because in competition you don't know what you're going to meet. A guy can have, for example, a really good loop choke and you're not aware of that, and all of a sudden you're in the loop choke. You need to be able to improvise.
Yeah.
So if you're just like a robot that does everything planned, you won't have the right reactions. So you need to try to be in the now and you have to be like a problem solver that's ready for everything.
And okay, so since I'm doing these videos to be really short, do you have, like, besides this, which was actually a really good tip, do you have anything else that you would like separate and recommend to people, like a tip if they want to get better at jiu-jitsu? Like, what's your, like, secret, but not secret tip that you would recommend to people?
I don't know. There's not too many secrets with jiu-jitsu. It's just pretty simple. You need to train hard. You need to, you should. I recommend people to do studies. For example, you go online or maybe try to figure out new stuff. Because if you just take advices from your coach and only follow that, you become like a sheep that's only you're not able to think for yourself. So you need to take some responsibilities for your jiu-jitsu career.
Yeah, for your own game.
For your own game and everything. You need to search for techniques and ask questions and of course you can have help from a professor and coach, but you also need to be able to be on your own.
Okay, just to rephrase the previous question, not about the secret, but what would you then, let's say, what advice would you give to people in general besides this? Just a small, tiny thing that you think that people waste their time on. It can be changing a grip or something. Anything that you see people doing wrong, but you would recommend them to do differently.
Stop drill without resistance too much. I think some people, they want to brag to their friends that they train 6-7 hours a day, but they don't have efficient training. So the main tip is to focus on quality over quantity. Is to make sure that you know how to train smart, know smart training methods, and try to just be more effective in the training.
So specific over drilling.
Yeah.
Okay, well that's it, guys. Sorry for making it so awkward. I'm freezing, Espen's freezing, and hopefully you found something interesting in this.